As women, we know that being on our period comes with a lot of symptoms that are not great, from PMS before our period to cramps, bloating, headaches, backaches when we're on our period, and it's simply not fair, but it's something that we have to deal with. And I know that before I used to reach for a bottle of ibuprofen anytime I had any pain with my period. But the good news is there is a more natural way to deal with these problems, and that is essential oils. And I also take magnesium, which helps a ton. So I'm going to talk all about how you can use essential oils to ease those period pains. It's important to note that we are not medical professionals, so if you're having any serious problems, make sure to consult a doctor or physician. And also, another word of caution, when you're dealing with essential oils, make sure to test a tiny drop on your forearm to see if you have an allergic reaction. And if you do, obviously don't use it. If you don't, go ahead and dilute the oil, which I'll talk more about before using it. So I'm going to go ahead and start with naming a few of our favorite essential oils to use when it comes to your period. And the first one that I want to start with is lavender. This oil is amazing and it smells fantastic. I'm sure you all know what lavender smells like, but what you might not know is that it has anti-inflammatory, antifungal properties. It's also amazing for anxiety and depression. And the best way to use this oil is to dilute it with a carrier oil. We recommend coconut oil. You can also use avocado or olive oil. And then rub it on the bottoms of your feet. This is the way you'll get the quickest absorption. But if you want to smell it on your body, you can put a little bit on the insides of your wrists. You can also rub it directly on your belly if you're having cramps or problems there. But lavender is a great way to also ease your PMS, anxiety, or depression that might flare up. I know mine does. And the best way to use it for that reason is to put a few drops in a rag, put the rag over your mouth, and inhale the lavender, and you would be surprised at how quickly it helps you calm down. The next oil that I want to talk about is clary sage. This oil has a unique, grassy, earthy smell, which I think is amazing. And this is our go-to oil for fighting symptoms of PMS because it naturally balances your hormones, and it's also a relaxant. So it's very, very good for when your hormones are all out of whack. And the best way to use clary sage is to, again, make sure you dilute it and rub a couple drops on the bottom of your feet or insides of your wrist. And if you would like to, you can apply it directly to your abdomen and belly and see if that helps more. But this, again, is so good when you're combating your hormones being all over the place, which, again, happens to me all the time. Another top choice when dealing with PMS symptoms or period symptoms is rose oil, and rose has been known for thousands of years to have amazing benefits for the skin, but it also has anti-inflammatory, relaxing, and anti-ulcer properties. So it's fantastic when you're struggling with any of those symptoms. And another positive about this oil is it smells so good. I tend to find myself buying a lot of natural products that have rose or rose water in them because it smells so fresh and it also is super relaxing. So again, if you're experiencing symptoms of PMS, go ahead and reach for the rose essential oil to help ease those symptoms. Now I'm going to talk to you about a little DIY essential oil blend recipe that we have up on our blog that we have found is helpful for all of the symptoms we've covered. There's clary sage for balancing hormones, there's rose for easing PMS symptoms and helping with bloating and cramps, and there's lavender for helping you to relax. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you that recipe, and these are essential oils that you can find online. You can also usually find them in Whole Foods or Sprouts or any health food store. To make your essential oil blend, you're going to need, again, a carrier oil. We recommend coconut oil, and you're also going to need a dark glass bottle. Dark so that the sunlight won't dilute the oils, and make sure you don't use plastic because the oils can break down the plastic, so make sure that you're using a glass bottle. The recipe for this blend is super simple. It's just 10 drops of lavender oil, 10 drops of clary sage oil, and 10 drops of rose oil. Match in a 1-to-1 ratio with your carrier oil. And the best bottle that you can use is a glass roll-on bottle, but if you don't have one of those, a dropper bottle or even a glass spray bottle would work. And the way you're going to want to use this is, again, to spray it and rub it into the bottoms of your feet, the insides of your wrists, or directly on to your belly. And one thing to note is if you have irregular periods, feel free to add a couple drops of peppermint into that. And also, I've noticed when I have huge waves of nausea, it's really helpful to inhale peppermint oil, and I just do a few drops of peppermint oil into a dry washcloth and I put it over my nose and mouth and I inhale it, and you would not believe how much this helps with nausea. If you don't have the things to make your own essential oil blend, there is a brand called Plant Therapy that has their own blend called Balance Synergy that is specifically for periods and combating the symptoms of PMS, and it will help you feel balanced. So check them out if you'd rather go about it that way. If not, just feel free to follow our DIY recipe. It's super, super helpful when dealing with awful symptoms of our period. And I'm curious, do you use essential oils when you're battling PMS symptoms and on your period? If so, what oils did you use, and are there any other ones that we haven't covered that could be helpful? I would love to hear from you, so make sure to drop us a comment below.